Oh, football. You want to know football? No, different day. I'm glad to see. You look at last week. We turned the ball over 7 times offensively. Not what we want to do. Today, none. But you know me as the head coach. One of the things sometimes I hate is the extremes. I want to see good football. Thought the offense executed a lot better today than we did last week. A lot fewer mistakes. Defensively, wanted to see some guys. When guys weren't making some plays, they kind of, I don't know. Someone's got to step up to be the guy to come get that leadership back up to draw the line in the sand to get us slowed down. But we'll get there. Got a lot of young guys on this team, and we'll get there eventually.
With the wide receivers that are out, you had some guys step in, Keith Mixon, Dedrick Thomas, and Jonas Spivey. What did you think of those guys?
They did a good job. They're young guys. They're getting opportunities. They're guys that are taking big steps forward. I think Keith's had an unbelievable spring. But all those guys are taking giant steps forward because now they have this opportunity to really learn. They're getting some great opportunities for the first time. When they kind of know what they're doing. I like to say even in fall, you go into fall camp, they're trying to swim and trying to figure it all out. Even you go into bowl prep, they're trying to figure it out. Now they have time. They're really they know what they're doing out there on the field. You get to see them go make some plays.
You got a guy like Dedrick Thomas that can play inside and outside. Talk about how valuable he is with starters out like you got today, where you can plug him in anywhere.
I think it's huge because it is, and we want that with receivers. We got a couple of those guys. If you look at us when we get going, even though he's out, Fred Ross can go inside, outside. Gabe Miles we've put outside, but we know he can go inside, outside for us. I think it just gives you some flexibility and helps those guys out to when you get stuck with the receiver situation we're in right now.
No turnovers today, quarterbacks, no interceptions. You pleased with that?
Yeah, very pleased. After last week's debacle, much better. To see that of taking care of the football. Decision making.
What did you think last Saturday was kind of like a learning curve or learning situation for those quarterbacks?
I think a lot. I think next Saturday will be a big one too, because a lot of them now are going onto the big stage. Hopefully, have a good crowd here of people. It's one of the things, one of the most important things to me of having a big crowd at the spring game is to put pressure on guys that haven't been in that role. People are looking and they're not the backup. There's potentially 4 starters right there. Someone's going to be the starter, so they're all coming in with that pressure on them, and we need to see them perform at a high level.
Did you see Fred Brown today?
Yeah, he's got some family deals.
Gotcha.
Are you seeing any separation between the quarterbacks right now, or are they still kind of close?
No, it's all, there's so much that I evaluate on it. I haven't even really looked for separation yet. I'm just compiling all my information on them still. And a long way to go before I would ever think that. You just see the number of reps. One of our goals, they all have hopefully equal reps, and with coming out of spring, everybody gets a lot of opportunities, and then we'll go back and evaluate it after spring, and then even through summer, what steps they're taking between the end of spring and the start of summer, and then the start of summer and the start of start of training camp to the school getting into game week of who's really put themselves in position to be ready to go play.
Jamal was back on defense today.
Yeah.
Can you talk about what you saw when he was on offense?
I thought he did a great job on offense. I think, one of the things frustrating, and then he breaks his finger, he's got this club on, so he's, now he can't catch, and, that's frustrating for him. So, but I think, he's a guy I think that has, could be very, very special at wide receiver, in long term of his career, even beyond here.
Do you want to play in both, or just wait and see?
Yeah, we'll see. And I want to play him at a high level, and so we'll evaluate, where we're at, where he's going to be able to help the team most, and where he's going to be the most successful.
How do you remaining practices? What do you want to get done this next week for the spring game?
Continue to take huge steps forward. There's so much. We got a young football team, so there's so many things guys got to get the reps in that they need.
How do you evaluate the defense with no turnovers to the offense, which is a good thing, but on the defense there isn't? How do you balance that?
I told him that. I said, as the head coach, I don't know. I'm never really happy. When we leave a scrimmage any day, or every practice, either the defense feels pretty good about themselves or the offense feels pretty good about themselves. I think as the head coach, you just feel pretty miserable no matter what happens. But I told everybody, I just want to see good football. I'll go watch the film. I want to see guys playing well. I think a couple things. We got to improve defensively. on some things, but there's great opportunity out there for guys to do it, and they're going to get to see it. You know, at the end of spring, we're 0-0. At the end of training camp, we're 0-0. Following, doing things the right way, by the rules all the time, and I think, you know, I don't know a lot of. I mean, were they flying the? I don't know people. We haven't done satellite camps. Are they flying their whole compliance office to these camps, making sure at every camp they go to things are done right, and all that way. Where you know our guys see our compliance officers are out of practice out here. You know, so I think budgetarily, I think all those things, it just made sense to me, and I think everybody in our league kind of agreed upon that as a league. That we agreed that, you know, I mean, I want guys coming to our campus, you know, for camps, and you know, young men to come get the experience of being on a college campus and seeing what the experience is, seeing what it's all about here at a place like Mississippi State.
I think Mark Rick said last year, one of the reasons too was it's one of the times where he's usually at home, gets to spend time with his family, where every other time you're out recruiting everything. Is that stuff coming to play at all too?
It does. I think, you know, I would say this. There's a lot of discussions going on of what's best for the future of college football, you know, and I think how to structure it that way. I think, you know, we added a dead period last year for coaches where, you know, you go see your family. You know, we're a family program. We're trying to help develop and teach young people and help them grow. You know, and then they look to their mentor or coach looking at them and said, hey, have you ever seen your family? No, I don't ever see my family. You know, I mean, I don't know what type of example some of that said. So that also plays. There's so many different things, I think, that played into it that I think it's what's best for college football right now.